Hello everybody, welcome to a new track guide. This week we're at Portimao in the Acura GTP as per usual. So the conditions of this track guide are that, in case you are wondering, it's about, if you're watching this in America, it's about 70 degrees Fahrenheit, the air temperature. So it's quite a good track this, to be honest. I really like it. This lap was a 128.491. And well, we're going down the pit straight at the minute. To set up this lap, I'd recommend before the last corner you just go around the outside, and obviously don't need to state the obvious here, just get a good exit from the corner before. So you carry it around the outside because obviously we're travelling a longer distance here, so we're going to have a higher top speed at the end of it. In case you're wondering, this is also with the bop applied. So we come down the pit straight. Boom, we get over to the left hand side. As long as we have our right wheels on this curb, we're fine. And then we're spotting this white strip and we brake at it. Quite a hard brake, and we shift down into fourth. We clip as much as we can of the apex, but do not use that sausage curb, otherwise you will die. So we're in fourth at this point. Now we get back on the power. We track out. As long as we have two wheels on this curb, we're fine again. So we could have used a bit more track limit here. So there's definitely room for improvement on this lap. Okay, there's not really that good of a braking marker here, unfortunately. Maybe we could use this orange barrier here or something like that, but I just sort of brake off feel here. There's not too much. And the thing that I want you to experiment with is getting over onto this curb or not using it at all. In my testing, I think getting over on the curb is just a tinsy bit quicker. So now we're in first, and we just aim to cut as much as possible and get over to the right hand side. But do not try and over compromise that last right hander to swing yourself all the way over to the right. There's really no need to do that. And then for this corner, we just sort of do micro lifts. Not even micro, but we do lift on the crest because obviously the car goes light. Track limits here, as long as two wheels are on this curb here. Okay, so the braking marker that I use is when this light goes out of sight, so I don't really count, but so the second light. Boom, right there. And in my testing, can't use this curb unfortunately, it's just too rough. The car gets really unsettled, especially when you do this little drop here that you can see. The car gets really unsettled, and then you get worse braking performance, you can lock, and then you get loads of understeer. So to me it's not useful, but do experiment again. So we shift down into first, and we want to hook as much as the inside as possible because it's camber. Boom. And the interesting thing about this corner is on the exit, you see this curb here? If we sort of run our wheels over it, our traction control will kick in, giving us a worse exit. So what I do is get the middle of the car over the curb. So you see here, middle of the car over the curb, so our wheels are actually not on it, and then we won't hit traction control as much. Because you could hear then, when I crossed over it, you can hear the traction control go do 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 do. That's slowing us down. Boom, you heard that. For here we don't need to brake, but it is a full lift. Depending on track conditions, sometimes you can do a partial lift, but I think in this lap it was a full lift. Yeah, so full lift, and we have the option, we have two options here, depending on track conditions and depending on how comfortable we are. We can either coast until we hit our little braking marker, which there really isn't any, or we can get back on the power. So there actually is a braking marker here, you can use that white line. And we shift down into second, and the thing that I want you to pay attention to, we don't want to get on the power too early. Don't try and rush to get on the power because the car gets so light on this crest here that we have to be really careful. It's really easy to get wheel spin. So that's why I'm still in second at this point. Let me just, come on. There we go. So I'm still second, and we just want to feed the power in slowly. Just try not to get wheel spin. So as you heard there was wheel spin. So that's why it's so important. There's still quite a bit of time left in this lap, to be honest. So make sure that we try and limit the amount of wheel spin as much as possible. And here, this is about the track limit. You can use a bit more than this, but like in the hairpin, if we run over this, traction control kicks in a bit more, and then we lose time on the exit. Okay, so we brake once we get over the crest, and this corner is very interesting. There's multiple ways to take it. My way is by staying wide initially and then coming back in. You could technically double apex it, and I just want you to experiment with this one. This is what I found to be the fastest for me, but it could be different for you. So I stay wide, shift down slowly, trail brake, and then get back on the power. So we brake just when we get just before the crest, and then obviously we have to lift again once we're over the crest, because that's when the car lightens up. And as soon as we hit that yellow curb, we get back on the power. Same deal here. This curb will slow us down if we have our wheels over it. So this wasn't. Yeah, so I did cross over eventually, but it should have been a bit quicker. Okay, so for this corner, we brake before this white line here. There's not too many braking markers on this track, unfortunately. And I shift down into, this is second or first, let me just, yeah, so first gear. So we brake just before the white line. We can't use this right hand side curve, unfortunately, and we want to get over quite soon because there's negative camber, meaning that the track, if you take the outside, it's just going to sort of spit you out the corner. It's extremely slippy here. I can't stress that enough. It's very slippy. So we just hug we hug in first, and we just hug the curb. Once we're exiting the corner a little bit, we can get back on the power. Get all the way to the left, and I hit the limiter in second. And once I've hit the limiter, I get back on the brake. But we can also use this grass braking marker here when it ends. And then we dive in quite early here. I do want to experiment taking a wider line, but again we have that negative camber here. So if we take the outside bit, we're going to have less grip. Get back on the power early here, that's very crucial. And as long as two wheels are on this curb here, see where the curb narrows? As long as our wheels are there, then we're good for track limit. And here we just cut as much as possible. And that's a 128.491. Still some sectors to improve. If I am massively off the pace, I'll do a new one of these. These are my splits. So there's only 3 sectors. That's so stupid. There's only 3 mini sectors here. So those are my splits. So we're only like a tenth off my theoretical best. But yeah, I do think there's quite a bit to improve still. So if I'm massively off the pace, I'll do another one of these, or I'll do a hot lap video. So now I'll play the hot lap uninterrupted. Okay, so that is the full lap. So I think my predictions are for this week. Top split. I think the fastest laps we'll see around here is a 128 flat, or dipping it even down into the 127s. So I think somewhere in the 128s will be a decent qualifying. A 129 you'll see middle of the road, and then 130 will be near the back. But of course that's just my prediction, so we don't really know. But it's a very good track. It's got a lot of flow to it. So yeah, I will also do a more advanced trail braking guide in the future. I just don't really have too much time at the minute, but I will want to go back home from uni. So yeah, thank you very much for watching.